everybody. It is the 26th of June. I'm spending a little bit more time writing, obviously, now that I'm not working out as much for this week. And also, it's refreshing to get off social media for a little while sometimes. It just is. Sometimes, it's great to just not have that compulsive need to check things and to just kind of let it, all sit out. And yeah, I still went on, Twitter and Facebook every now and then, but it's nice to have that feeling that you're the one controlling it instead of the other way around, that you are the one saying, okay, now I'm going to check Facebook, instead of just having Facebook pop notifications up in your ear and you going, oh, I've got to check this. Just so that you can compulsively have those notifications cleared. So, yeah, spending a little bit more time writing, spending more time just goofing around too. But, whatever. So today's topic, I wanted to talk about I don't know what to call it, a franchise, a media conglomerate, whatever you want to call it, called Eat This, Not That. And I'll be honest and admit that I have very limited exposure to it. I don't really know what the deal is. I don't really know what their, whole shtick is. I understand, from Googling it, that Eat This, Not That is what it sounds like. It takes, sort of a common sense food item that may or may not be considered healthy and says, eat this instead. And, as I understand, their recommendations sometimes make sense and sometimes don't. And in general, they're aimed at, just sort of a normal, like fitness market, health and fitness, not, anything particular when it, not like any particular sport or athletic thing. And, I do remember, like, I've seen the books around, like they have books, they've got some, they've got a website, they've got all this other stuff. And I've seen some of the books, like I knew, like there was a copy sitting around, like at one of the gyms I used to work at. So I'm not trying to bash on the books or anything like that. I don't know the books. I don't, I don't really pay attention to that. I've never read any of them. So I don't know, what the deal is there. But what I will say is that the other day I was cruising Twitter and someone retweeted something that was like the title, like, oh, chicken is unhealthy for you now, or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's take a look at this latest bullshit, garbage, whatever the fuck it is. And, sure enough, it was complete garbage. And so what I saw was an article, and it was from Eat This, Not That. It wasn't by the direct author of the actual book itself. It was just an article on the website written by somebody else. And so, it could be completely unrelated to him, like how much support there is there, who knows. But they published this goddamn article, and it was so bad. And so this is right now, this is going to be not just my criticism of that article, but it's also going to be a criticism of just health and fitness nutrition articles in general. Because what happens is, if you study any food, you can find research to support nearly anything. You can say, oh, chicken is bad for you, chicken is good for you, chicken is bad for you, chicken is good for you. And what happens is, say you've got about 80 different studies that have looked at chicken, and let's say that 20 of them say that chicken is bad in different ways, and 20 of them say that chicken is good in different ways, and then another 20, just sort of reinforce, like some of the other stuff. So you go, okay, wait, is chicken actually healthy or unhealthy? Is there any intrinsic value to chicken? Is chicken good or bad? And the answer is no, it's just food. You eat it. Virtually any food, you can find, negative effects and positive effects to it. And that's not a bad thing. Typically, virtually any food has stuff like that, and they just sort of all balance out because they're just food. You just eat them. And sometimes, a lot of these studies, they could be very poorly controlled. You don't know. People who read these studies 9 times out of 10 are not scientists. They don't know how to read them properly. They don't know. I don't really know how to read studies properly. I'll be honest. I'm not trained like that. And so, they'll be like, oh, look, this study found that, chicken causes, cancer. Cancer is always the thing. It's always cancer. Chicken causes cancer. Okay, So, all right, chicken causes cancer. What kind of cancer? Which cancer? Oh, it says, oh, it causes, I don't know, like lung cancer. And then you also find other research that says, oh, but chicken protects you against testicular cancer or whatever else. It's pointless to do these sort of articles where it's like, oh, chicken is bad for you. Why? Chicken causes cancer. Well, that's not the question. That's never been the question. That's not the whole point. The whole point is that you read every single research study and then you get a general consensus on what chicken actually does, what chicken tends to do. Yeah, chicken might cause cancer in some people. But, is it the chicken itself? Is it the fact that it's protein? Is it the fact that it's meat? There's so many different variables that could be in play there. And just to say chicken causes cancer is such a simplistic, reductive approach. It's like taking one variable out of this massive web, equation and pulling it out and going, okay, that's it. Well, of course it's not. And so that's the problem with every single article like this where it's like, oh, blueberries are healthy for you. Blueberries are a superfood. Why? Because they protect you against this one kind of cancer. Okay, great, but I can probably find, 8 other studies that suggest that, they do something probably a little bit negative too. And it's so silly that people keep doing this. They keep doing it over and over. And they completely ignore the big picture, which is that you should be eating a diet that's the right number of calories. You should be eating a diet that has macronutrients in the right compositions. You should be eating a lot of fiber. You should be getting your water intake. All that stuff. You should be avoiding processed foods. All that stuff, and instead they boil it down to like, oh, don't eat chicken. Chicken is bad for you. Eat beef instead. What? Who cares? It's this like. What? Why? And the other thing too is that you have to understand that diet isn't just. There's not just one diet. There's not just one diet for one person. It's not like there's some universally healthy diet that's going to make everyone super strong and super smart and live forever. That's not how it works. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's body reacts differently to things. One person, chicken might, cause issues with, and another person, it might be just fine. So, you can't make those kinds of super specific recommendations based on, again, just this one variable that is so disconnected from the bigger picture. And then, people need different things out of their diets. When you're trying to bulk up, when you're trying to gain weight, you have to do literally basically the opposite of all the stuff that people are always trying to do to lose weight, and that's what most people are doing anyway. So, you gotta eat a crap ton of calories, you gotta eat garbage food, etc. When people are trying to lose weight, that's very different from when they're trying to lose weight while also maintain muscle. When people are trying to eat to be healthy at their current weight, that's different than eating to lose weight or eating to gain weight. There's so many different things you could be trying to get out of your diet, but instead they write it as if there's just one diet. There's just one reason that you diet, and that's because you want to be healthy. And, whatever that means, it's never clear what that means. Because it's always just like, oh, like, here, you're protected against cancer, but, anyway. And so this article was particularly egregious because it was pitched as, these are the 6 or 7 tips that you need to build abs, to get visible abs. These are the these are the secrets that I dug out of my weird, whatever, and I unearthed them and I brought them to you because I know the secrets to getting abs. 6 or 7 secrets. And it was like, eat chicken, or don't eat chicken, eat beef instead, because beef has CLA in it. Okay, great. That's not going to magically make abs grow on your body. It's not going to cause you to start training a lot and then put you in a calorie deficit. Keep your training high while you're in that calorie deficit so you can maintain muscle. Make sure that you're eating the right protein, macros and all that. That's, that has nothing to do with what you do to get abs. And you go on down the line, it's the same sort of thing. It's like, put a lot of whole fat cheese on things because because they've found that people who eat a lot of whole fat cheese, probably don't have diabetes. Great. on top of the fact that that's correlational data at best, because whole fat dairy has less carbs in it, and carbs and diabetes, they don't mix. That's a, do you not see like that's the underlying premise that you're just completely ignoring, to be like cheese is the magic thing, not eat less carbs, eat more fats. And it's the same, so on down the line. There's one thing where it's like, don't eat this because it could cause diabetes. What does that have to do with getting abs? How are those two things related? That's just a general health tip that has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to do the thing that it takes to get yourself visible abs. So, I don't, these things, they shock me. I don't know how people are still doing this and still making money off of it in the year of our Lord 2016. It's silly that these things still exist. Stop making these articles that are like 8 foods to eat, or 8 secret tips, whatever. Man, I mean, I understand that people have no attention span these days, and they just want to have these, these quick little snippets of, how to fix your life in 7 steps or whatever. But man, please stop doing that. Please stop. Please stop. It's so frustrating to read these things, and it's like, yes, all of these things are facts. Or maybe they're facts. They seem to be true. They have the appearance of facts, but it's a complete waste of time. You don't need to know them. They have no bearing whatsoever on the actual things that you need to know. You're filling your head up with this stuff instead of the stuff you should be filling your head up with. And I mean, man, like, I wasted 5 or 10 minutes getting angry at that and then tweeting about it, and then and then interacting with people because they were laughing at it too. Like, why? So yeah, that's my moral of the story for today. Stop doing that thing where you go like, yeah, just stop writing those articles. Period. Stop writing them. Stop writing these super simplistic articles pretending that foods are bad or good, that foods are healthy or unhealthy. It's a system. There's a massive system. There's 2,000 calories, or however many calories you're eating in a day. It's not one food. It's not 2 foods. It's not 7 foods. It's everything that you're eating, the proportions that you're eating it in, the amounts that you're eating. That's a massively complex picture. Try and look at the big picture instead of doing the small picture stuff. That's all there is. That's all there is for today. Alright, so, as always, like, comment, share. I will see you guys later. Have a good night.